Hello, everybody, and welcome to this part 37 of the Arduboy Give Them stream. So, today we will continue to implement the respawn logic for the item and more specifically for the main character. Because if you remember the last two streams we started doing that, and now we still have some hard-coded value for Rick to be respawned for the main character, and yeah, we should do something. We should implement something here. So I thought a bit more about the way to do it, and yeah, I just want to discuss about that. By the way, I didn't do any change or any modification since the last stream, so I have nothing to show you first. So let's just start about that. All right. So if you remember last time we used, I implement a kind of gate, which I called the puzzle screen gate, which was a specific place where the main character was maybe going to the next screen this way or that way or this way, and I kind of memorized this position to know if Rick is going through the same gate, the same the same position to know if we are transitioning or not. So let me draw some stuff here, I think. Okay, I can just draw in black. So if we have, let's say, okay, this two screen, maybe another one here. Okay, so the idea was that if the character goes through this screen here, that's one gate, and we can go through two different positions, and then we can go from here to here, that's another gate. All right, but the problem is what I mentioned is specifically in the example we have in our level design that we have here. Actually, I can go from this screen to the bottom screen from two different places, which is the ladder or the hole. And yeah, of course, I said in the level design I will not have two different gate or place to go through, but actually what I could have is a large gate. That means imagine you have some kind of block like this, okay, and then another one here, okay. So basically, let me zoom in a little bit. Basically, you can jump. The main character can go and just walk and fall here, or he can jump and go here. So basically, yes, the gate is quite large. So, and you could also have the same problem if you have a very high gate, it can jump also. So this logic of gate doesn't work very well, or it maybe it works, but it imposes a very strong constraint on level design. That means every gate has to be narrow, or what, or or maybe the margin that we use should be quite large, this variable here, right? So but if you think about it differently, basically how large the gate should be, well, could be actually as large as the screen width, or as large as the screen height, right? Because what I just want to know is if which edge of the screen the character is crossing. So if I'm crossing that edge, then I know that I'm going from that screen to that one. If I'm crossing this edge, I'm going from that screen to that one. Right? So basically, I can just try to get which edge I'm crossing to know which gate, right? So actually the gate become like more like the edge. Okay, that's one thing. And the the other reason I had this gate variable, right? This one, because I wanted to, you know, do two things at the same time, is like also having this transition, okay, logic, but also use that gate X and Y as a respawn position for the player. That was my idea, my intention. That's why I name it like that, which means basically if you if the player goes through this level from here and he die in that level, I want it to respawn it here. Or if he cross here, then I will respawn it here, right? So I wanted to use that memorized position as a respawn position. But that may be quite nasty to the player, because imagine that my drawing start to be quite messy. Imagine you have some spike, like here, for example, you have some danger spike. Like in the original game, you have one transition like that, right? And as a player, you just probably jump here and then die on the spike. Then the game will respawn you here and you will die again on the spike. So you will constantly die on the spike. So basically, memorizing that position, it could be a bit nasty. Well, it depends on the level design again, of course, but if in that situation, maybe no problem, you're just crossing a simple gate and it's safe around this position. But here on that position, it's not safe, so you should not jump, you should just fall, right? So, well, if I implement it like that, then I just impose some restriction on level design. And right now, I don't want to go like that, because this is the kind of trap I would like to do for the player, right? Okay, another consideration is like, imagine we have our big boulder like at the beginning of the original game. Okay, this is our boulder, and the boulder fall and then roll and follow you, and as a player you have to escape, and then maybe as a player you jump here and then here, and then maybe, okay, you can for example hide yourself here, whatever, and the ball does escape, right? Like in the beginning of the original game, right? So the problem is, if I die on that screen and I will respawn here, then I cannot really respawn the boulder, and I cannot just say, okay, boulder, you start again from here. No, so that won't work. And the way we have implemented is, yeah, we respawn all the item on their original screen, right? But that's fine. I want to do that. It's good. But then what that makes me think that actually, instead of having automatic checkpoint or respawn point, I think we should leave the checkpoint to the game, to the level design, which means if I die here, I would like to respawn here on that screen and respawn the boulder also here. So 2 screen away, right? And that will be the level design and the level, the editor to edit the level. We will put some respawn point. So respawn point meaning, yeah, I mean, which color I can use? Okay, I mean X and Y position for the character, right? And yeah, say you respawn here and on that screen, and then all the items of that screen are respawned here. And maybe have another respawn on the next screen over there or whatever. So so we can have a couple of checkpoint, respawn point, checkpoint, we can call them the way we want. Every 3, 4, or 5 screens, depending on how nasty you want to be with the player, for sure. And yeah, I think that will help us to be maybe to free up a little bit the level designer, which is me, but maybe it will be you also if you want to, if you use the editor later. So yeah, I want to give you that kind of freedom, actually. All right, so now that I have all this consideration in mind, I think it's a bit more clear about the change that we should do. So first, we can just we can forget about the gate X and Y, because we will have anyway our respawn position, and then we can replace that by the edge transition, but keeping the same logic, but transforming into edge transition, and that will make the code maybe a little bit more simple. You will see that. So I didn't implement it, but I have it in mind. So let's see if it works. So first we'll do that, and then we will work on the respawn. All right. So that's by the way, that's a quite ugly, messy drawing, but that's fine. Anyway. So yeah, I want to remove that. So first thing I will do is this. I will put that into Boolean flag. So camera X, if the X is different, it's a horizontal transition. Is horizontal edge transition, edge transition doesn't matter. Okay, I'm gonna keep it this, and the same for the vertical is vertical transition. Right, so and the test doesn't change. It's either we have a horizontal transition or a vertical transition. All right, we set the new target. Okay, so this code will change. Basically I need so I will just need a Boolean flag and the value of the edge. So is puzzle screen gate. So how to say that is last puzzle screen edge. I can say horizontal, for example, and then I will use my is horizontal transition. That's why I memorize it, and then I should like puzzle screen edge coordinate, and we will see. So it will be a new edge chord. Okay, so let's declare this. New edge chord. So So basically, to know which edge we want is always the biggest one between. Um, it's always the biggest one. So if you have, let's take again this screen. So if we are transitioning from here to here, so the one target target camera. So for example, target camera X is here, and the new target camera is here. Okay, so if I'm transitioning in that direction, I want this one, which is the biggest one. And if I'm transitioning in that direction, I don't want this one, but I mean the new one will be this one and the old one will be this one, but I want this one. I always want this one, which is the biggest one in between the two. So in that direction it's like that, and if I take another color, so in the other direction, this is the opposite. This is the current target camera X, but this is the new target camera X, right? So in between these two blue, I want the biggest one. So that's the same for the when we transition vertically, I want the biggest one. All right, so let's take the biggest one. So if we so I probably don't need the rig coordinate again. So let's try this. If we have a horizontal transition, then this one equal, so we take the biggest one, otherwise we take this one, else we take the biggest Y. So so we either take the biggest X or the biggest Y, depending if we are transitioning horizontally or vertically. Then we can check if we are returning or not. So this will be so if it's the same, then we are returning. Okay. If rig just cross the same edge as before, he is returning back. So yeah, I told you the test will be simpler. yeah, so he's crossing the new edge, then okay, then he's returning. After determining this, we can memorize the new edge, and we can memorize if the last one is horizontal or not. Yeah, so it's I need to check this also because I'm just saving one value for the edge, but if before I was crossing the x and now I cross the y and the y is the same, but no, before it was the x, so it's a bit more than that. So it's like if it's the same, okay, so both if our screen edge is last puzzle screen edge horizontal, puzzle screen edge, I think I will remove the last puzzle screen edge puzzle. Yeah, no, I will keep the last, but I will add the last here. Last puzzle screen edge. Okay, so because these two variables are working together. All right, so yeah, let's summarize. I just put that in Boolean value, right? And okay, I set the camera. Then I memorize the new edge. Depending if it's horizontal or vertical, I take the max one in X and Y. And then checking if we are returning, that's as simple as checking if the value are the same, is the same age. Then I memorize them, and if it's returning, then we move the direction. The rest doesn't change. I think the rest of the code is the same. All right, so we have changed these two. Let's change it into the map manager. I think they were private. Yep. So this one, just put 0 for now, but we'll see that later. And and this one, so this one is a bool, and it should be whatever, true. Okay, so maybe I can just initialize it with a value which is not 0. So yeah, I'm sure that it will always be, the first transition will always be false, so no matter where I spawn. All right, so this didn't change. Yep. Okay. So I think here, let's try to compile. I think here we should have the same behavior as before. It compiles, and let's check. However, no, it should improve a little bit, because now I can transition from the hole here, and if I come back from the ladder, then it will be considered as the same transition, and that doesn't work. That should work. All right. Because yeah, the horizontal transition is because the last, it's a boolean, so it should be I probably need a 3 value, like uninitialized and so should I put, let's just check if it's like that. fix that. I think that's the bug. I don't know if you have seen it. It's like, yeah. It depends where is your first transition, so. But yeah, no, actually it should work. Okay, doesn't work. So, okay. New. Okay. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I set the value here, so of course I should set them after comparing it. I can put it there, here. Okay, yeah, that should work better. Okay. Yes, and we have our items. Okay, so it seems better like that. All right, so let's commit that, and then we will move to the respawn of Rick. That's the second part. All right, so just changing the map manager. Yeah, so yeah, basically refactoring this. Okay. Refactor the logic for detecting the screen puzzle change. All right, so now the checkpoint and respawn. Okay, so I think I will, because it's level design data, so obviously we need to do something in the map data file, which again will be generated. I want to remind you that the whole file will be generated. So everything we put in map data, CPP, will be generated and read by the also editor, read and write by the editor. So we should not write anything that we want to keep. All right, so and everything that comes from the editor should end up in that file. So my idea was to add something here inside the init of the screen that you want. All right. So for example, okay, we can write something here, and what I want to do is call a function that will be checkpoint, like memorize checkpoint. I think checkpoint is a good name. We didn't use that name yet, so why not? And I will give some value, the respawn value. So okay, I will finally move these two value out of this file, out of Rick. So 15 and 2. And I will do it maybe not in screen 2, but maybe in screen 3. So in screen 3, that should be 200 to maybe 180, and a bit lower, like 80 is a bit high, like 100. Of course, yeah, the response should be inside inside the screen, otherwise it's not logical. But again, this will be handled by the editor. So and I will add this function to the map manager. So it's a public function here. Let's call this checkpoint functions. Well, Rick X, Rick Y. Okay, so let's add that. Where a bit higher. After collision, maybe here. All right, and obviously I will need some variable to. Do I need to memorize it? No, actually not. I have to call the respawn of Rick for sure, and I have to set the target camera. And then I need to, and I also need to get the current puzzle screen ID, which may be a bit tricky. So I think it's too tricky. We probably have to give it in coordinate here, in parameter here, because that may be too tricky, because I don't know which path the player do. So, or no, I know. I can count how many screens I pass since the last checkpoint. Yeah, that's what I should do. All right. So let's change Rick first. The respawn function is private right now, so let's make it public. Okay, I need new coordinate. Sorry about that. Respawn world X, respawn world Y. Teleport to the specified position. So I'll do this, move it here. Where's my respawn? Here. We'll make it public. All right, and I just remember that I forgot to delete what? Delete the margin. Puzzle screen get margin. We don't need it anymore. Just to clean the code a bit. All right, so yeah, we have our respawn here, and respawn, respawn was over there. Yeah. Okay, so let's call it from the map manager. From the new function we created, where it is. Nope, it's above that. Yeah, here. So we call it from here with these values. All right, and also from Rick. Now, what Rick should, because before Rick was calling respawn, so we should obviously remove that here. Instead, we will tell the map manager. I can keep the check of the screen, the Rick going outside of the screen during the death animation. Can keep it here in the player. That's fine. But here I should just call the map manager to respawn me to the last checkpoint, basically. And responding to the last checkpoint will call my respawn. All right, so, and because I'm doing this, just for the clarity of the code, I want to move the stop of the parabolic trajectory here. That's the same, but it's like, it's better to see it here next to that rather than the respawn. We can keep the init idle in the respawn, that makes sense. Stop the trajectory, ask the map manager to respawn me to the last checkpoint. Okay, so map manager will do go to last checkpoint. Go to is not great. Let's say respawn to last checkpoint, or restart to last checkpoint. Restart to last checkpoint, maybe. Okay, so that's also a public function from the map manager. Here. All right. All right, so this is where we should know which screen we should init. So basically, I should know which screen I should init, change the current screen puzzle ID, and call the init. And because it's a restart last checkpoint, it should be an init with true. Like this, and before that, so set the current puzzle ID to the last checkpoint puzzle ID, and call the init. All right, and here, this is where we should memorize. So we can, yeah, I was saying I can just count, but no, I think I can just memorize the last puzzle screen ID, right? Okay, memorize the last checkpoint puzzle screen ID. So yes, but I said I don't want to give it in parameters, so yeah, I probably need to count it. All right, that's fine, so let's call it last checkpoint puzzle screen ID. Okay, for now let's give hardcode is value, call the so yeah, call the respawn teleport respawn the player at the correct location. All right, so let's declare this. I probably variable for checkpoint. So unsigned char. All right. Or I can just put it here next to there. They are similar. The last checkpoint puzzle screen ID, the current puzzle screen ID, and the farthest puzzle screen ID reach. All right, so yeah. So here we should set this with that. All right, so let's summarize. The main character is falling, is dying, is falling, he's out of the screen. He called that function. In that function, we set the current puzzle screen ID with the last one that we memorize. Then we call the init with true. The init with true will call the function, the pointer on function. I should put the init next to the, let's put the init next to the respawn. Okay, so I call the function with this correct value, and then this in the map data will call me back. Well, call that function, which will respawn the player here, which will set the correct X and init my state to idle. All right. Okay, so now we have to deal with that, and of course that will not change the value. Okay, that's an issue, because when I'm here, my current puzzle screen ID is already the same value as this one, and this is not what I want. So maybe I should calculate it here. Let me think. So maybe I should just I should just count maybe instead of memorizing the ID. If I count how many screens I move, and then I can just reset this value to 0. Or I can just, oh, that's a bit weird if I just initialize it with this. Maybe that's what I want. Is it? So the first init call, okay, it will be like 0. Then I move to 1, 2, 3, and then I die, and then okay, yes, but that's maybe what I want, but in the map data I should memorize the checkpoint outside of the init, because when the rig doesn't die, even if it doesn't die, you should have to memorize the checkpoint. So this one has to be here. This has to be here, but you don't want to teleport the player if you just go, well, even the first time you enter in that screen, you don't want to teleport the player. Okay, so the problem is this one. How do I know if, oh, yes, I know it. Rick know it. So basically Rick knows if he's dead or not. Then if I'm dead, I respawn. Otherwise I do nothing. So where's the init? update of the depth. It's near here. Yep. Here. Okay. So here my state is death. Okay. So if my state is death, then I just teleport myself and go back to idle. Otherwise, I do nothing. And that's why maybe respawn is maybe not a great name. Okay. So here, that means I can call it. Okay. So let's summarize again. Rick is dying outside of the screen. Then he call restart to last checkpoint. We set the current puzzle screen with the last one. Init true. So in the map data we call this one, we call everything. Here we will memorize it with this, which is the same value, but doesn't matter. And then we call respawn of the rig is dead, so it will teleport and go back to idle. All right, so that is what I want when Rick is dead. Now, if I just move without dying and I reach a checkpoint, if I reach a checkpoint, then we will have the logic. I remove it here. The screen switch, and we will call our init function, and let's say I reach a new puzzle, which is true, it doesn't matter, so we'll call the init function, and this time the init will also call memorize checkpoint, which will put in the current puzzle that I just reached. So let me check that we set it. Yeah, we set it before calling init, of course. Yeah. And then that will call the respawn function, but in that one, because I'm not dead, it will do nothing. So at that time, I just memorize the checkpoint. I memorized the puzzle screen for the ID for the checkpoint. Yeah, should work. I think it works. Let's try. Let's see if it compiles first. I have nothing to drink today. Compiles. Let's check. And if it works, we should. I will rename the respawn. All right, so I go there, here. So if I die on the spike, I will respawn here. Okay, which is what I want, because map data, we have a checkpoint here in the first screen. We have nothing in the second screen. We have a checkpoint in the third screen. Okay, let's try to go to the third screen. First screen. Okay, we have some issue about item. And then I will kill myself in the third screen. And that doesn't work. Okay. Screen 1, 2, 3, 4. The screen 3. Yeah, the screen 3 is the one with the hidden spike. Let's move them a little bit down, by the way. Okay, so it doesn't work, but it should. Let's try again. I will go directly to screen 3. Screen 3. I move the spike down. Okay, they are visible now. Okay. If I die, this time it worked. This time it worked. So let's try again, but from let's try again. Let's try to die in screen 2. Okay, and then I go to screen 3. I will try to die on the spike. If they are here, no, they are not here. It partially works. Partially works. So memorize checkpoint. Oh, yeah, by the way, you should probably only memorize the checkpoint if it's bigger, because you can also go back. So if you re-enter into screen 1, for example, I will memorize the checkpoint for 1, which I don't want. So if the current one is bigger than the last checkpoint puzzle screen, then I can memorize the last checkpoint. Alright, so that's a little thing, but I think that won't fix the bug. The bug will still be here. Let's try again. Let's die on this one. Okay, let's go back to the first one. Okay, we are in the first one, and let's die. Maybe it's the death with the dynamite that has some issue. All right. Yeah, we were respawning screen 3, which is what I want. Okay. So yeah, maybe you have seen that the transition of the camera is like going through all the screen, which is normal. Basically, we need to teleport the camera in that function. We will fix that later. That should be quite easy. So okay, let's do the test again that I've done before. So I die here, and then I will go to screen 3 and die on screen 3. But we still have some issue here, as you can see. Yes, we have issue, but okay, that's maybe the bug. Okay, yeah. All right. So Is it linked with the farthest screen, puzzle screen reach? Maybe yes, maybe not. Let me collapse some function here. Okay, so that function, the screen direction. The screen direction. We have to reset the screen direction to positive value, right? The edge also. Because the teleport is kind of breaking that logic a little bit. Rick is returning. So we have to probably teleport also this variable, like set this variable to something. So basically I need the edge coordinate of the previous screen before the checkpoint screen. I have to memorize it. I cannot guess it. And of course these two value. Okay. I have to memorize these two value, and the moving direction should always be reset to 1, I think, when you respawn. So let's copy this. So here, I guess. And the direction. So I think the direction should always be 1. And this we have to memorize it. And like I said, we should teleport the camera also. And the farthest puzzle screen reach should not be. Oh yeah, it should be reset, because if you go to all the puzzle and you die, let's say at the last screen, 3 screen later, when you go back to checkpoint, you want to make alive all the AI that you have killed. It's not a checkpoint and then everything is clear until the last puzzle where you have failed. So yes, this farthest puzzle screen ID also has to be reset to basically the one we teleport. So that's quite easy. And I want to reset the camera also. Oops, sorry. Teleport the camera to avoid a transition when restarting last checkpoint. So I will do that later, but just keep it for memory. We can remember. These two, this one, the direction, the current one, the farthest one. Okay. So the farthest one should be also the same. Okay, and the direction should be 1. And now this one recompute reset the edge transition to the previous screen before checkpoint. So this one I obviously cannot compute it, cannot guess it. So I think I will have to memorize it. Can I compute it? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. So I have to memorize it here. Memorize the screen ID. Memorize also the edge transition from the previous screen. Okay, so we have to give a name to this variable. So I think last checkpoint, puzzle screen edge chord, and last checkpoint puzzle screen edge horizontal. All right, and then I can give them back. In the restart. Okay, so let's declare them. Okay, it's the same here. So yeah, so we have this was set, this one was set to 1, this one. Okay. All right, let's try that. Go back to full screen. Okay, so I die here. Okay, then go back to screen 3. don't have my spike. Why? And I restart here. Wow. I did something wrong. Should I put that into memorize into checkpoint? Yeah. Actually, even the respawn should be it could be inside actually. Okay, so this one is check if we reach a new checkpoint farther than the last one memorized. All right, and then so last checkpoint. Screen edge code. Should I place that here? Yeah, so restart, that's when Rick die. Okay. Last checkpoint, so the last edge is from the last checkpoint. Yes, and this one is when we memorize the checkpoint. Yeah, I'm surprised it works even less. It should work a bit better. Let's test better. Let's test even more. Yeah, why I'm not responding? Come on. It works even less. What? Because I moved the yeah. I moved the respawn here. So I should not. Restart, we do init. This is called this is yeah. not sure. Wow, there's a lot of function calling themselves. Yeah. So here, and if I die on, oh, I have some spike. If I die here, I respawn here. Okay, which is a good news. If I die in screen 1, oh, I have a statuette here. What is that? Yeah, it seems like I'm in screen 4. I respawn here. Yes, why I'm in screen 4? So the edge here is probably should be here, but why? So let's do the stuff again. Rick is outside of the screen. We call this. I reset the current puzzle screen ID to the checkpoint 1. The farthest we went is the checkpoint 1 also. The screen is 1. I think it should be 1. Yeah. And the edge should be the last memorized one. Then I call the init, that will call this one. So if the current puzzle screen will be equal, so yeah, this one is not called. Yes, because it's equal. But do I want to reset that anyway? Yeah, I think I want to reset that anyway. It's a bit like Rick. And these are really okay. So this code is when I reach a checkpoint without the death, or without going through this function. But okay. Again, if I go without coming from that function, actually I don't want I don't want to do that here in the if, but I want to do it if I die. No, actually, yeah, no, actually I want to memorize the last checkpoint when I cross it without dying. So yeah, it was correct. This was correct. But if I die, yeah, if I die, I don't need to memorize it. Okay. maybe this is not correct. So what happened is I was positive, I die in 3, then go back, direction is negative, I die again. Okay, maybe we should write something in the monitor, because here I'm a bit confused. So let's enable the serial monitor, and we will do some print. I always forget the function to print. I think it's just println or something like that. Let me check in the API. Okay. It's I think it's println. I cannot see it. Right, println, yeah, that's the function I'm looking for. Yeah, okay, just this, okay. All right, so let's try this. Start. And last checkpoint puzzle screen ID. Restart to screen ID, this one. And here we'll say memo checkpoint. And the current puzzle screen ID. Okay, let's try this. Yep. Can I print? How to print text? Maybe write. Oh, serial write. Oh yeah, I should call it on serial, sorry. memory. Okay, let's try that. So let me show you the serial monitor. I had it. Ah, surprise. Okay, memo checkpoint 0. Okay, so far it's good. Let's go there. Memo checkpoint 2. Okay, let's go back. Let's go to the one. Do we have a memo checkpoint? I think yes. Okay, memo checkpoint 0. But which is normal here, but the last checkpoint, I should print it also. Yeah. Memo checkpoint, let's say last checkpoint. All right. Let's try again. So memo checkpoint, last checkpoint 0. Memo checkpoint, last checkpoint 2. If I go back upstairs, memo checkpoint 0, last checkpoint 2. All right, so restart to screen ID 2, memo checkpoint 2, last checkpoint 2. This is normal. This is what we expect. Okay. So what is the bug actually? Except that the items are not here. Yeah, probably those variables are okay. I should maybe monitor the other variable. Yeah, let's monitor the other one. Last edge. Last edge chord and last edge horizontal. Okay, so let's try again. last edge chord 10, last horizontal 0. Going here, last edge chord 16, last edge horizontal 1. That's true, right? If I go there, and here, last edge 16, last edge horizontal. Restart to screen ID 2, last edge chord 16, and last edge horizontal 1. Yep, true. That is correct. I think everything is correct here. But we have some issue about the item. Maybe it's linked to the camera. So let's try to teleport the camera. So sorry. No. Yes. Sorry. Can I compute it? That's the question. Actually, I could compute the edge. I could compute it from the edge. So that makes me think that basically instead of saving these two coordinates, I could just these two variables, I could just save the coordinate. That would be x and y. I mean, that would be probably yeah, more efficient, because basically further edge coordinate is target camera x. But I just save x and y, and okay. So you know what I mean. Here I should put that in x or in y, depending on if it's a x or y transition. So yeah, I don't want to so yeah, we should probably change that. Never mind, we can refactor again. Should we commit that before changing it again? Yeah, maybe. Let's commit it without the serial in. I can commit with the commented. All right, so let's commit this first and see. I don't want to commit that. Okay, so we have our checkpoint. We have our new variables to memorize the checkpoint. We move the init function here. we have a memorize checkpoint and restart checkpoint. So implement a checkpoint logic in the map manager and in rig. Remove the hard-coded value in the respawn of rig. So we have a checkpoint function. In rig, we have we make respawn public with parameters. Remove the hard-coded value. Move this into here. Call the restart. Yep. And here, okay, make it public. All right, let's commit this. And let's just continue. So I was saying we probably need to change this. Last puzzle screen edge called X and Y. And since it's the edge, so we can safely set the camera, the target camera, to that edge. Yeah. So X and Y. Last checkpoint puzzle screen edge code X and Y. I'll come back to this later. Let's put them together as checkpoint puzzle screen edge code X and Y. Puzzle screen edge code X, Y, X, Y. Okay. And then here, so memorize X, Y, X, and Y. So we memorize the checkpoint from this, and here we just set it, and in that function okay, so we have to just compute the two. New edge called X and new edge called Y, which are okay at the maximum. I should change the comment. Get the edge of the transition, which is the max two values, true target camera. All right, and then here I should say is Rick is returning. So I don't know yet. Let's do this first. So if last screen X equal this one, I think it becomes a OR. No. No, we need to use the flag. Yeah, it's like if this and this or this and that. So if we have a horizontal transition and the last edge equal new edge X, or if we don't have horizontal transition and the last edge Y equal the new edge Y, then we have a returning. And okay, so we set the last puzzle edge to the new edge. This doesn't change, the rest doesn't change. All right, so now we can here set the target camera X with the checkpoint, and the Y also is the checkpoint. Yep. Let's try that. Okay, let's try to die. We still have just one spike. Why? Let's try to die on first screen. Oh, we should not only change the target. I said we should teleport. We should change both. Yep. So this is quite important to teleport both. We should change the current one and the target one so that there is no change actually. Do I need to reset the Arduboy? It seems so. Ah! What's that? What is that? Yes, I know. This is camera, new target, camera X. No, actually, I'm not sure what happened. X, Y, maybe I did. Oh. X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, last checkpoint. I mix and match X and Y somewhere. X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, X, Y. X, Y. X, Y, no. Target X, Y, X, Y. New edge X, Y, X and Y. X, Y. Yes, it's because of the 10 here, so let's just set 0. Let's try again. Because I died before reaching a checkpoint, I think. Okay. Oh, we have our teleport, which is a good news. I still have just one spike. Okay. All right, I think I will stop the stream here. I will search that bug outside of the stream, probably. But yeah, we have our teleport. I think we should, because if we don't, well, that's actually that was a quite nice effect to have the camera going back, but it was like going back screen by screen, not just in diagonal. So I'm not sure if it's that nice, and you have to do like 1, 2, 3. So I don't know. And also maybe I think if we have a teleport of the camera, we may have some less issue, probably, specifically for the init, because if you don't teleport, then maybe all the item outside of the camera, outside of the screen, maybe. Yeah, that what may happen also. It's like we do the first transition, then but we have several screens to move, then all the item of the first of the checkpoint screen was removed. So I think it's better to have a teleport, but the teleport feels a bit like a bit harsh actually. Like, okay, my camera died. um, so I don't know. Yeah, we can commit that even if I do some change later. All right. So we just rename those variable, and then we could teleport the camera. Rename some variable for the checkpoint management and add the teleport of the camera for during when we start from a checkpoint, when we restart from a checkpoint. All right. Yeah. Thank you for watching this stream, as usual. And I will check those bugs, what happened, and probably outside of the stream. But how long is that stream, by the way? I don't know. I cannot see it. And yeah, I wish you, yeah, I don't know, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and I will see you during the next stream. So bye bye.